Wit Studio just been caught using AI backgrounds in their anime opening. And everyone is furious at the AI. Nobody is asking why a studio with a deadline, underpaid animators, and 50 other shows to produce in this season risked for it in the first place. That's the topic I'm gonna be talking about. Before we head into the whole video, this is your host Sam with the BH, and thank you for coming to my CH. I will really appreciate if you guys can comment down below and share your thoughts on this. Cause as I say in my channel, I'm not a otaku, I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who loves anime. Okay, with that, let's head into the topic, shall we? Let's start with what actually happened. Because I think a lot of people are reacting to the headlines and not the full picture. Ascendance of a Bookworm Season 4 premiered on April 4th on Crunchyroll, which studio released a creditless version of the new opening. And fans almost immediately spotted the background looked AI generated. Now, which studio haven't officially confirmed it, but the background were outsourced to a Vietnamese studio called Nam Hai Art, which is created in the episode. And that studio is known for using AI, which Wit Studio signed off on the final product. And here's where it gets genuinely frustrating, because Wit Studio CEO had publicly described AI as a threat earlier in this year. Specifically, in an interview about the upcoming One Piece remake for Netflix, they condemned it, then approved an opening with an AI background. That is a contradiction. I'm not gonna dress that up as anything else. So, yes, the backlash is valid. The frustration makes sense. But I want to talk about what's underneath it, because I think we are all angry at the wrong thing. Now, while all of this was blowing up, Terumi Nishii, who served as the chief animation director on Jujutsu Kaisen, posted something on Blue Sky that I think is the most important part on this entire conversation. She said that studios are already using generative AI while keeping it quiet, not as a rumor, as a statement of fact. She said companies have already implemented methods like developing storyboards in the style of a specific creator and using AI to generate rough drafts for direction correction. And then she asked something that I think everyone needs to sit and listen to. Even if Aniplex says it won't use AI, can the production companies that receives orders from them really stop using it? Think about that. Think about what the question implies. You have a major studio publicly promising no AI and a veteran animator saying that the smaller studios actually doing the work can't necessarily keep that promise because the conditions that make AI tempting still exist regardless of what big studios says. She's not defending AI. She's pointing at the system, and I think we should too. Now, I want to talk about something that's been happening alongside all of this because I think it's relevant to how we are responding. In March 2025, a Shinto shrine in Kyoto, one of Japan's oldest, updated their X profile picture to an AI generated shrine maiden. They deleted that in the same day. They still received dozens of threatening emails. One said the shrine would burn to the ground in an unexplained fire one of these days. A 30-year-old man was arrested in July. Shrine staff had to be hospitalized from the stress alone. That is where AI panic has gone to. An 800-year-old cultural site threatened with arson over profile picture. I'm not saying the concern about AI in anime is wrong. I am saying the way we are expressing it is causing real harm to real people who have nothing to do with it. And here's what I want you to understand about anime industry right now and why AI keeps coming up as a solution even when studios knows it looks bad. Approximately 200 anime are produced every single year. That's around 50 per season, and that number has been growing steadily alongside streaming demands. Those shows are made by a shrinking pool of animators who are earning on average less than 2.4 million yen a year. That's roughly $15,000 in a country where the average salary is close to 49,000. 40% of everyone working in the anime industry earns below that threshold. These people are missing deadlines to go home. People working on shows back to back with no recovery time. Studios like Mappa have been called out repeatedly for how hard they push their staff. And Mappa is one of the most successful studios in the world right now. One Piece, one of the biggest franchises on the planet, is moving from weekly episodes to a seasonal model in 2026 because even they cannot sustain the production pace that the industry expects from them. So, you have more shows than ever, fewer animators willing to work in those conditions, deadlines that don't move, and budget that aren't growing to match the demand. When you look at it like that, AI stops being a story about greed and starts being a story about a system that has been pushed past its breaking point. Now, I wanted to connect this to something I have talked about before on this channel because it's the same story from a different angle. In 2024, anime generated $25 billion globally. In the same year, Japanese government gave out creative industry subsidies, and 0% of the money reached the animators and creators actually making the content. The money went to localization, marketing, international distribution infrastructure, the promise of creative freedom, the no interference in creative work policy we were all excited about that applies to the Japanese government specifically. It does not apply to what happens when the content get handed to a streaming platform or localization team on the other side of the border. So the animator drawing your favorite show is earning $15,000 a year, and the streaming platform hosting it is growing its subscribers based on the back of that animator's work. I want to be really clear about something. I'm not telling you that AI in anime is fine. I'm not defending Wit Studio's decision. Using AI in a show about a girl who fights to make book accessible through human craft. The irony is not lost on me or anyone else. What I'm saying is this: if tomorrow every anime studio signed a pledge to never use AI again and nothing else changed, will the animators get paid more than $15,000 a year? Would the rigid deadlines change? Would outsourcing studios be the cheaper option still? The anger is real. The concern is valid. But right now, the energy is going towards shrine staff who got hospitalized for stress, towards the tool instead of the structure that made that tool look like the only option. Why? The streaming platform profiting from 200 anime a year while paying studios fraction. Why? The government subsidies going to marketing instead of people who are drawing the frames. Why? The studio promising no AI while outsourcing companies that use it. The conversation is just starting. Those are the conversation I want us to be having because those are the ones that might actually bring change. Wit Studio did something contradictory and should be held accountable for it. Nishii was right to say what she said. The fans who are upset about AI in anime are not wrong to be upset, but the people who built a $25 billion industry on the backs of animators earning less than half of national average, they are not part of the conversation right now. Be angry, just be angry at the right thing. Comments are open. I want to hear where you land on this.